Yeah.
Hello woodworkers, this is Chris again from UK Woodwork. Today we're going to be trying out some Intarsia. I've done it a few times before, so I'm going to show you how to do it. It's quite simple, it's just a bit time consuming, especially with the sanding. Normally you do it with different coloured woods, but I find it quite difficult where I am to get different coloured woods and different grains and things like that in the woods, so I'm going to be staining my wood. So it's not real Intarsia, but sort of getting there. But if you can't get hold of the wood, different colours then and species, then you can always do it like this and you get a similar result, but it's a bit cheaper and you've just done it by staining. So let's get started. Right, for this piece you can use colouring book pages, other printouts that you've got, but you want like something like this where you've got your lines there that you can cut round. Now for my one I'm just going to use one piece of wood. I know this isn't the way that you're supposed to do it. What you're supposed to do is use, if you are staining it, look at the grain in the wood and cut out each individual piece in different ways so the grain goes in different ways, if you understand what I mean. So say on this piece you'd have the cheese running one way like so, and then you may have the mouse going the other way. So but for this piece I'm just going to cut it out of one solid piece, just to give you the idea quickly of how you do Intarsia. So what we need to do is stick this template down on the piece of wood that I've made and we'll get started over at the scroll saw. Right, I've stuck my template down with some spray adhesive and we're now back over at the trusty scroll saw. Remove the spray adhesive. And all you need to do now is you cut around the template. We're going to cut the mouse out so the mouse can go in the piece, and when we sand it it'll give it that 3D look. We also cut out each of these holes and the cheese and just go around each piece and we'll sand each piece individually. So I'll start off on the scroll saw now. Right, so we've got started on that. I'm not going to bore you with showing you the whole cutting out, but if you've got any cutouts in the middle, like these pieces are here, then what you need to do is you need to drill a hole through them pieces. You can do that on the pillar drill, or you can do it with a manual drill, whatever you need to do, just to get a small hole that's big enough to get your blade in, and then you cut out the inner pieces that you can't get to if you do it like this piece here. We've got a little circle there and you won't be able to get to that piece from the outside, so cut that out with a hole cut into the middle of that. So when you come back I'll have cut the majority of this out and I'll show you where we go on from there. Right, I've cut all the pieces out that we need to cut out. I did make a mistake before when I was telling you about cutting these pieces out. The ones with the holes in that you would have to put in, obviously we need that fully fully as a circle. So if we put a hole through the middle of it, it's not going to be right. So what you need to do is, if your template has places that you can't get to like that, then you need to print a second template off which is exactly the same, cut into your wood, then cut the circle out, and we use that to go along with this piece of wood that we've cut out. But because I'm in the workshop now and I'm not at home, I haven't got a printer, so I can't print it out, so we're going to leave these two circles in there. So as you can see now, it's starting to make shape. They go together. That goes in there, and then obviously we've got the 3 pieces of the cheese which goes in together. So the next part of that is to sand over these edges. And all the edges get sanded round, and for me I'm going to do that in a combination of this, which is attached to my saw, and I'm going to go over to the pillar drill, and I've got some sanding bits on there I'm just going to run over. But you've got these little nooks and crannies that I'm going to have to do on this, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'll start off with the, what's it called now, drill press. That's it, it's just gone out of my head, and get the majority of it done, and then we'll come back to this. Right, we're now over at the drill press, and I've got my sanding bit in. Now you have to be very careful with this, because it will grab hold of the wood and spit it out, so you do need to be careful when you're shaping over these edges. So I'm going to make a start now, and we'll start on the piece of cheese. So you turn your drill press on, hold the wood very steadily, and you keep sanding the edges. And what you have to do is get a nice curve, so you go back and forth, up, down. I'll do one piece and I'll show you what you're looking for. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can see it, this camera's going to focus. Well, it's rounded over on the edge quite a bit, and you want to do that all the way around. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll come back to it when it's all done. Right, as you can see now, we've sanded all our mouse and cheese, all the edges, and all it is to do now is stain it. That's because the pieces of wood are obviously all the same colour at the moment. Now I don't have yellow stain, I need to go out and buy a set of different colours. So for the mouse I'm going to use a mahogany stain. So all you do is you just undo your stain, get a rag or a cloth, put some on your finger, and just rub it straight onto the mouse. Now you want it all over the mouse. The only bit we'll really see is the top and sides, not the bottom, because we're going to be mounting it onto a piece of wood. So do the sides, like so. The cheese is going to be a bit of a funny colour, but for this demonstration it doesn't really matter. Ideally we'd obviously like it yellow. And you can get stains off the internet, there are all sorts of different colours, but I've just not got around to getting hold of some yet. It's a bit difficult in some of the nooks and crannies. Just keep working your finger and the cloth as much as you can. If you can't get there, just use a pencil or something just to get it right. into the bits that you can't get to. I'm just using a pencil there. I still can't get to that bit, but I won't be seeing, so carry on doing the edges. That's the mouse done. So we'll do the same on the cheese and we'll come back when the cheese is done. Right, I've stained all the pieces now. For the main body of the cheese I used an American walnut, and for the little pieces of cheese that go inside I used, I think it's pronounced Jacobean oak, sorry. So the next piece you need to do is you put all the pieces together, like so. Find out which way it goes round, that's it. And then you close it up together and you need to go around it with a pencil onto a piece of wood. I'm using a piece of plywood here. You draw all the way around. Making sure you hold everything together. And then you take the pieces off, put them to one side, take that over to the scroll saw, cut round it, and then we come back and we glue our pieces onto it. Right, so I've glued on the pieces of wood and I've give it a spray over once the stain is dried with some clear lacquer, and I'm really happy how it's turned out. Quite nice. And that's how I made it. So please subscribe down below, and there'll be lots more woodworking videos coming very soon. Bye.